what's here right now? I'm back here with Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, where we are approaching the end of this case, I hope. Oh, I left my GameCube controller plugged in. And I've got to say, I love the way the case has been shaping up. More or less all the way through, I've loved this case so far, so I don't want to do much preamble. This man has earned my undying fury. Most of the time, with Ace Attorney antagonists, they're so obviously deluded that it's like, man, I just feel bad that no one was around to help you not become like this. But this man obviously knows what he's doing, which makes it even more despicable that he would dare claim Juniper threatened him. Anyway, he was just in the middle of praising Wright.
Very good, Bobby. You just earned a gold star and a promotion to head disciplinarian. All right, class is now in session.
Why do I have the sudden urge to go to the nurse's office with a stomach ache? That never worked for me. What are we doing? Main point, Juniper is the killer, I am innocent.
Pay attention. I am not the killer. Juniper is. This will be on the next test, so you had better be listening.
Objection! But Professor, you created the phony tape to pin the blame on Juniper. Plus, you were the only one who could have moved the body during the mock trial.
Objection! Main point, detention, after class. Please note, I was not at school. Athena, you disappoint me so, to think you would label me a murderer.
I'm not in your class, that won't work on me.
Now pay attention. The murder occurred on the 23rd between 6 and 8 p.m.
Yes, while you were standing here, yes.
But I was already at home by that time, so how could I have been involved in this crime?
Objection! Professor Means, can you really prove you'd already gone home by that time?
Objection! Can you prove that I was still at school?
Yes, very easily. No, I can't.
So you admit it. Well, you just earned extra credit for your honesty. But you have also earned yourself lavatory cleaning duties until you graduate.
Can you do that in a public school? Or a private school even? I don't know if it was a public or private school. I don't know that at the office. Is it gonna be Juniper?
Objection! No way, man! I totally object!
Robin?
I can't believe I fell for the professor's silver-tongued lies! Why, how dare you talk about your teacher like that? I'm not listening to you anymore, man! No way, no how!
Now, I have a confession to make. You know how those two statues were on stage? I didn't make them all by myself! The statue's on stage. Do I want to know where this is headed? Why does it matter anyway? We can prove that he was there because of the photographs. Once again, thank God for Miriam. I was able to finish one of them, but the last bell rang before I had time for the other one. So I asked Professor Means to make it for me. In other words, the professor was there on the stage after the last bell. Right, and it would have been way past 7 p.m. before he could have finished. Professor Means was still at school. This is incredibly important testimony. The professor told me I'll take care of it. I told my parents to let me be an artist if I said I made both statues myself. I'm so sorry for not telling the truth. Robin.
Objection! Quick, somebody get this juvenile delinquent out of my sight. Simon, you're head honcho among the delinquents. Do something. And who's in charge of the class pet around here? Not interested. But if you want a class in swordsmanship, I'm your man. Of course, only real blades will do. No swords at school! All school swords weapons will be confiscated. Nurse! Nurse! Where's the school nurse when you need one? It would seem Cykes Dono seeks a showdown, Professor. In which case you would do well to draw your staff, quick as lightning. Very well. Well, then I will just have to prove my innocence myself. The real lessons begin in second period. Prepare to be served, old school style.
I said no pets allowed. Oh man, the poor localizers that would have had to change those every time.
What is that? Oh, never mind. Your testimony, please.
Yes, please. Main point, Juniper's the killer, I am innocent. I love that.
Professor Means' work of art. Witness testimony. Now pay attention. Robin took over half a day to complete one statue. I, however, finished most of the other statue between 7 and 8:30 p.m. The defendant Juniper saw the two statues with her own eyes at 8:30 p.m. Completing a statue so quickly meant I could not leave the stage for a single second. How could I have possibly had the time to go to the art room and commit murder?
Okay, so he's admitted he was at the school at that time. I see. The defendant saw the finished statues. They're making a big point of that for some reason. So I guess this here is Robin being like, could you finish the other one for me? Or finish this one for me because he's already got Clavier's done. Right. Unless he did it first. Nevertheless, let's just see what we can push on here because that's going to be the key here. Because I'm sure at some point he's going to bring up this statue because it's obviously, this is all really weird, right? You're saying the defendant saw the finished statues? Precisely. She said so herself at the detention center yesterday. Why is he even bringing this up? Was that ever in question? Or is he just using that to prove that he had finished it before then? Somehow he thinks this will help him. Her defense team was there and heard her say so too. Don't try to deny it now. Did I? That evening, I went back to my dressing room to get something I'd forgotten there. It was well after the last bell rang. I'd say maybe around 8:30. That's when I noticed that both stage statues were finished. Oh, I see. I don't remember her saying that. They were quite large and they were each covered with a white sheet, but I could tell. Oh, well, if they were covered with a white sheet, how could you really tell they were finished? No, the professor was there when that matter came up. Before I address the professor's charges, I have a question for Robin. How hard would it be to complete a statue like that one in 1.5 hours? It would probably take me at least twice as long. So personally, I think it would be incredibly difficult to finish that in that short a time. It didn't exactly help our case. But he won't get off that easy. He's bound to stumble over his own slippery means. I think we got to push here. That's what I think has got to happen here. But I'll ask Apollo what he thinks up front here. So the 5 points are, pay attention, Robin took over at half a day to complete it. I finished most of the other statue between 7 and 8:30. Defendant Juniper saw the 2 statues with her own eyes at 8:30. Completing statues so quickly meant I couldn't leave the stage. That's his argument for how he couldn't have been at that room during the murder. How could I possibly have the time to go to the art room and commit murder? By the way, the autopsy says between 6 and 8? Right, okay, just making sure. I somehow thought it was a bit of a wider margin than that. And the cause of death is a blood loss from a deep stab wound in the side, so we're given to understand. Marks indicate wrists may have been bound. Not much of this has come back into play recently, which is sort of weird. It's got to come back into play soon. How could I possibly have the time to go to the art room and commit murder? Paul, what are you thinking? What's the plan? All I can think of is pressing him like crazy. That's what I was going to do. That's all I can think of too. We'll just have to seek out a hole to exploit. Robin took over half a day to complete the statue. Hold it! Miss Newman took over half a day. Can you please be a little more precise about that?
What a wonderful question. She was having quite a tough time, you see. Prosecutor Gavin's statue alone took her from the morning hours into the evening.
It's still not being very precise.
Well, it is a rather large statue after all. Don't be silly. It merely exposes the difference between student and teacher.
That's just mean. You're already going to jail for murder. Can you not have to go to jail for being a dick as well? You finished most of the other statue between 7 and 8 p.m. Hold it! Most of the other statue? What exactly does that mean? Robin did some of it herself, I suppose.
Robin created the basic outline of Mr. Wright's statue long before the last bell rang. Just before the last bell rang. I, in turn, completed the rest of it.
I see. In academics as well as art, learning the basics is incredibly important. Sorry. Basic outline of Mr. Wright's statue before the last bell rang, but the last bell rings at 7, does it not? That's why you all thought that because of the bell on this, you assumed the time of the murder, therefore. So if it happened at 7, then you didn't start at 6. Oh, no. That's right, that's absolutely right. He did, it's precisely what he said. He was saying he started at 7 and ended at 8:30, right. But then why are you proposing that you couldn't have been in the room from 6 to 7? Anyway, I see. In academics as well as art, learning the basics is incredibly important. In short, you skipped the most important part of the statue making, didn't you?
Objection! Why, you insolent little... It is the practical applications built upon the basics that may take so much time. Professors such as I mastered the basics a long, long time ago.
Unlike Miss Fancy Pants here, who lacks all loyalty fundamentals. Quiet you!
Now do you understand? I did not leave that stage until I was done. Well, Miss Cykes, do you accept witness's claim?
On your life, Buster, yes, I accept it. For the moment, I'm tempted to say yes, just so we can check the other ones. Although the fact that they give me an option here is obviously significant. I don't understand yet why he's saying he couldn't have done it between 6 and 7. Oh, because she was alive at 7:05. Wait. But this was an hour fast, right? So this is actually 6:05? Wait, was it an hour fast or an hour slow? I'm all forgetting now. No, it was an hour fast, I'm pretty sure. So that photograph was taken right around here. Oh, right, of course it would have to be because that's when this is happening. Anyway. I accept it for now. I'll be back on that one in a moment. I've tried everything, but I still can't prove anything. Oh, never mind. Maybe I had to say that. I guess I concede.
I couldn't hear you. Say it louder this time.
I can see that Professor Means never left the stage.
That's right. But what took you so long? I was there at the stage the entire time. I couldn't possibly have committed that crime.
If there was another way for me to have done something there, they would have let me go back and press on the other point, so I'm pretty sure I had to do that just then. I'm not gonna give up here.
I'm afraid I have to side with the witness, Miss Cykes. And unless you have any further objections, I'll have to put this issue to rest.
Objection! Not yet. The defense still has an objection. Athena? You've thought of something? Well, as I said, not yet. No, so it's time for legal smoke and mirrors. Not yet, Athena. It's not yet time to quit. It's at times like these, when it seems like there's no other way out, that you have to... Yeah, I had to turn the case upside down. Oh, was there a weird sound effect just then, or was it me? Instead of focusing on whether Professor Means could have gone to the art room, I had to focus on how she could have died otherwise. The envelope with the latch that has a knife on it, which for some reason we don't have in evidence. Or he could have wheeled a sharp thing on that would have and come up and stabbed her that way, I guess. There are ways he could have killed her without being in that room at that time. I should focus on how he could commit murder without going there. It's either I'm reckoning either it has something to do with him wheeling something up, that like putting like a blade on there, wheeling it up, and then it, like, as it swings up into there, it stabs her. Or it's something to do with the spring-loaded envelope. Not necessarily 100% that it has to be either of those two, but those are my prevailing theories at the moment.
It seems our young lady has a real bona fide idea. I must use any means possible to distract her. See if she can think while I cast these stones. Who brought the bird to school? Cykes, don't know. If I hear one word of your usual jibber-jabber, I shall have your head. The murder occurred in the art room, but the witness was on the stage. How do you propose to fill the vast gap between these two key facts?
If I accept the premise that the professor was on the stage the entire time, the only other answer is that we got something else wrong. Wait, that's it! I don't have what she has yet. Every last one of us made a huge mistake. We were totally wrong about the suspect murder weapon crime scene. Well, we didn't have a confirmed murder weapon. All we know was it was a stab wound, and we were pretty sure this was planted, right? So we didn't make a mistake if we thought you know what? Okay, sorry. This is another thing where I was pretty confident this wasn't the murder weapon, personally. So maybe they thought that it was the murder weapon, and I can say it's not that we had the wrong murder weapon. It was actually the envelope. Although I thought we were saying the envelope was what gave Hugh the nasty cut. Because I suppose if you were trying to open that envelope and you like brought it down to your chest to sort of fiddle with it, and it snapped open, it could stab you. They said it was a pretty deep stab wound, though, right? And the blade didn't look especially long on that thing. Well, we won't die if we get it wrong. I mean, crime scene... There was blood all over that place. It seems it would be hard to plant. Further, there's evidence of a scuffle in here, and there wasn't really much evidence of... I mean, it couldn't have been on the stage that happened, because that happened while there was this huge-ass construction crew here. They all would have seen it. And further, this was burned, so that suggests that... Oh. Well, my theory was that they used this one to lower her down, and that's why he had to burn it. But I suppose it could have also been that, like, he stabbed her against it, and that most of the blood splattered onto it, so he burned this one, but didn't notice this. But then, why would this one have been tied into a pouch, actually? It's only just occurring to me that's a big hole in my theory, as this one being the one that was used to lower her. I'm gonna say the murder weapon, though. I think what we're trying to get at here is that... No, it's not the suspect. I'm pretty sure it's Means. I'm pretty confident what we're getting at here is that he didn't have to be in the room if it was the spring-loaded blade. Murder weapon? What if we got the murder weapon wrong?
Really now? And what do you intend to label the murder weapon, then?
Huh? Oh,
Perhaps you bludgeoned the victim to death with your duller-than-dull thinking.
I'll give you a choice this time. Either change your thinking or suffer a penalty. No, I'll change it. But I know we got something wrong, so I guess I'll have the penalty. If I accept the okay, right. Crime scene then. Died on the stage, I guess. I mean, I don't know how I could unassailably have chosen that and why I deserve to lose health for that, but fine. If Professor Means was on the stage the entire time, then he must be the killer. What? You mean to say then the murder must have happened? We know he's the killer, Athena.
Objection. Ridiculous. The defense has become utterly incoherent.
Objection! No, it's just the murder wasn't committed where we thought it was.
Continue. Cykes don't know.
Okay, the murder was actually committed here. I don't know. Stage, I guess. Oh, well, yeah, because he didn't leave the stage. Take that! The greatest riddle of this case has been how the body was moved from the art room. But if the murder occurred on the stage, that means that the body was never moved at all.
Objection! Oh, you grimy little brat. So much attention after this. Detention! The murder occurred in the art room. Silly girl. When the body was found, there wasn't a drop of blood on the stage floor. Surely there would have been some blood if that's where the... Did you mop it up with the governor's logo? Oh, that makes so much more sense. Surely there would have been some blood if that's where the murder was committed. And then he just tied off the other thing to make it seem like she had been moved, killed there, and murdered there. He made like 5 different contingencies to make it seem like they'd been killed up there because he had an alibi for being on the stage. There wasn't any blood on the stage. Really? But there was something on the stage that at the time of the murder that was now bloodstained. Right, well, I guess there's this. Take that! It's true, there were no bloodstains on the stage floor, but there was something on the stage that did have a bloodstain. And that would be this, the school banner. No blood would have gotten on the floor if this were under the victim when she was killed. Oh my! That's quite a compelling theory. Silence. Yeah! What is it now? My theory makes perfect sense. That was a pathetic attempt. You must put every inch of your body into your attacks. The autopsy states the cause of death was loss of blood, yet only a trace amount was found upon that banner. Where did the rest go?
The other banner?
Blood getting on there when the body was moved by the wire. Makes more sense than not. Very good, Simon. Tell me, what's your first choice for higher education? I'll write you the ultimate in recommendation letters. You're all but guaranteed to get in.
Objection! Don't write him a goddamn thing! Actually, the defense has something to explain that as well.
You too.
If there was only a trace amount of blood on the school banner, then there must have been something else the killer used to soak up the blood. All I have to do is figure out what. This is what soaked up most of the blood, is the other banner. Take that!
Why, it looks like there's some other piece of fabric on top of the school banner.
Mm-hmm. It's the governor's banner that had been specially made for that school concert. It's very heavy duty, as we were told. Since it's on top of the school banner, the blood would have hit it first. It could have easily absorbed most of the blood like a dishcloth. And only a small amount would have soaked through to the school banner below. So it makes total sense for the school banner to only have a little bit of blood on it.
So that banner absorbed the blood like a dishcloth. Yes, that would explain it.
The governor banner was like a dishcloth? Surely it was at least towel quality. Poor Clovey. At least Apollo's coming to your defense this time.
Objection! Simon, don't just stand there, do something! Silence. Cykes don't know. You are learning to wield a blade quite well. But how will you respond when I come slashing at you like this? The remnant of a large bloodstain was detected in the art room. But why would there be blood there if the murder occurred on the stage as you claim?
I guess because you cut his hand open well enough to have to need surgery? Objection! The bloodstain in that armor was faked. How? I'll tell you how. All that was needed was something that could transport the blood upstairs. And that something was a piece of evidence we've just finished discussing. Oh, and then you could wheel it down, and it'd be easy to get it back down there, of course. The killer used this to bring the victim's blood up to the art room. Well, you just said it was this, Athena. Take that!
To think you'd stoop so low as to present mere garbage to this court.
It's only garbage because someone tried to destroy it by tossing it in the incinerator. That someone was most likely the killer seeking to get rid of crucial evidence. The killer used the wire to bring the blood-soaked governor's banner to the art room, then the blood was wiped onto the floor to complete the ruse. It makes perfect sense!
Ow! Order! Order! This is quite a development. To think the body was never actually moved. Objection! Hold it right there. The body must have been moved. How else do you explain that loud crash you heard during the mock trial?
I don't know. Maybe someone just smashed it. Were there trace amounts of blood on any of the rubble, by the way? No, I don't think so. Maybe it was the Lady Justice statue? I'm not sure. Or maybe he sent the banner back down and it crashed into the statues then, because it's supposed to be pretty heavy.
If it wasn't caused by the body crashing into the statues, then what was it?
Ugh. I hadn't thought of that. If that loud crash wasn't the body hitting the statues, then what was it indeed? The knot in the school banner shows that something was carried along the wire in it. So if that's true, I know what I have to find. Okay, well in that case, if she's saying that something had to have been carried down, I guess it was this. Why? Something that was in the art room before the murder and then on the stage after. The object that was sent down the wire to crash into the statues was the other statue. Take that!
That statue?
Yes, I believe it was this statue that broke the other two, not Professor Court's body. But then how did the page get there? The unique statue you see on the right, that's the pure white lady statue from earlier. Professor Court accidentally broke it while she was polishing it the day before the mock trial, but she used her own unique artistic sense and technique to repair it, as you see here. Nobody would have guessed that it was originally the Lady Justice.
Silence! Perhaps you're onto something. But why, pray tell, would anyone move that scrappy relic in such a tedious manner?
Excellent question, Simon. Keep them coming.
You know why, but the fact that you won't acknowledge it shows how twisted you are. Lady Justice was moved during the mock trial. During that time, Professor Means was fabricating an alibi with his pre-recorded speech. If we consider the facts, then Lady Justice was moved in order to... What? Wait. The point is to the body. Has to be. Juniper must have done it or someone. Because it happened after the murder already occurred, so it wasn't somehow part of Means' plan. It had to be someone... Why would he ever? It wouldn't interrupt the mock trial. That wouldn't do it. Nor would that help anyone. Nor would it help hide the body, because it had to be the point is to the body. That's it. You're brilliant, Athena. Professor Means used his pre-recorded speech to fake an alibi during the mock trial. He wanted to make it look like he couldn't possibly have moved the body. Moving Lady Justice was his way of pointing to us to the body and cementing his alibi. Oh, never mind. So it was... Wait, no, that does also make sense. You're brilliant, Athena. That's quite a persuasive argument. Sorry, I was totally off the money there. For a while there, I thought you weren't taking the trial seriously. Well done. Thanks, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Objection! What is it this time?
I just breathed a bunch of water. You should never underestimate me, Athena Cykes.
It's the first time you haven't called me Miss Cykes.
Professor Means always means what he says and says what he means, by all means.
Fine then. Say it already. I'm waiting.
No smart little kid wasn't even shaken by my awesome intimidation tactics. The murder occurred the night before, but the body wasn't found until late the next day. Countless students passed the stage till they met in the lecture hall for the mock trial. The body would absolutely be found. So answer me this. Why didn't anyone see the body that entire time?
That can be explained by...
If the victim was murdered on the stage and left there, the body would inevitably have been discovered. And of course, there was nowhere to hide a body upon that stage.
This is not good, Athena. Our claim is this close to being beaten to a pulp. Is there any chance that the banner was cloaked over her at that point, and then he burned it somehow after? No, because we found the body right. We found the body right at the point of that crash, and the banner was already gone by then. I'm pretty sure. Let's see what they ask us. I know, but we've come so far.
Consider yourself schooled. I couldn't have possibly killed anyone. The killer is none other than Juniper Woods. It always has been, and it always will be.
Just wait a minute. Oh no, I'm really low on health too.
Poor Juniper. She must seriously regret having asked you to defend her. And to add insult to injury, you nearly had you convicted for murder. The end justifies the means is an amazing bit of legal wisdom. Surely you haven't forgotten that little fiasco. Athena Cykes' attorney badge is just for show. Not only did you fail to defend your client, you also raised false charges against your friend. You have no right to call yourself a lawyer. But if this trial proceeds in the same manner and ends in the same way as the mock trial, would you not lose everything you've worked so hard to gain?
Well, I'll just have to make sure that doesn't happen then, won't I? Oh no, Athena, just keep it together a little bit. Don't tell me I failed once again. Failed to save someone near and dear to me. I've worked so hard to become a lawyer. and even studied psychology. Has it all been for naught? Am I just doomed to relive that all over again? Athena, what's wrong? Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Relax, Athena. Breathe. It's not working. Everything's going dark. After all I've done, is this how it ends? Forgive me, Junie. I couldn't protect you like I said I would. Come on, Athena. It's gonna be Juniper. Objection! You leave Athena alone, man! She's the one who saved me! It was because of Athena that I could stop hiding and start living my life as a girl again. And she saved the friendship between Hugh, Juniper, and I. I think you're an awesome lawyer, Athena. One of the best! But I have raised false charges against you. And that's not all. I've done something seriously unforgivable things. Objection! Or it's gonna be Hugh. Objection!
What's the big deal? False charges are nothing to be scared of. I'm not even mad at you. I should really be thanking you. You used legitimate means to expose my wrongdoings and give me a chance to re-examine what's important.
But what does it matter if I can't save Juniper? I mean, the whole reason I've come so far is... Objection!
It's gonna be Juniper for sure, right?
It's not over yet, Athena. Even now, at this very moment, I still believe in you. Junie, I know you better than most people, Athena. And I know you'd never surrender to the dark age of the law like the professor did. Thank you, Junie. But I feel like I can barely breathe. I don't know what to do.
Silence! Stop your bleeding this instant. You look like an utter fool.
Prosecutor Blackwell?
There is one who awaits you, is there not? And that is the reason you have studied so very hard. Are you prepared to give up on all you have worked for thus far? It would not do to have you disappoint you-know-who. Objection. You're wasting your time. You have nothing on me. No evidence or anything else to establish my guilt. You are helpless before the might of lawyers, for whom the end justifies the means. The bright, cheery, dark age of the law is nothing against the end. It justifies the means.
Don't worry, Athena. You're doing fine. The truth will always win against people like him. But, Apollo, what am I supposed to do now? Listen, all you have to do is take a deep breath and look back over the entire case. I've been trying that for like 5 minutes, Apollo. It really hasn't been working. If there's truth to be found, and there always is, you're sure to find it. Now let me see a smile. Remember what Mr. Wright said? The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Thanks, everyone. You don't have to worry about me now. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Athena Cykes is psyched and ready to rock. Prepare for your utter defeat. Hell yeah, Athena, hell yeah! Let's do this. Oh my god, it's gonna do one of these now. Oh, this is the perfect time for this. Professor Court wasn't killed in the art room. She was killed right where her body was found. We know this because there wasn't any time to move the body from someone else. That means the body had to have been hidden somewhere on stage until it was found. Let's think along these lines and see where it takes us. There's no way that Means made the statue hollow, did he? To hide the body in it? That would be the most ridiculous thing if that was true. First up, when did Professor Means remove the body from its hiding place? Oh, let's see. What was he doing right before the body was discovered? He was using the span of time as his fake alibi was created to move the body to where it should be more easily spotted. Therefore, the only time Professor Means could have removed the body from its hiding place is during the mock trial. The body was moved during the mock trial. It was during the mock trial, specifically during the speech or while Junie wasn't there. Well, I guess it would have had to have been while Junie wasn't there, otherwise it would have been obvious that it wasn't her. Thought Junie wasn't there. No, Junie was in charge of the audio, so she would have left the lecture hall many times. There's no way to know which of these times to focus on. Okay, sorry. It's the speech. Sorry. The body was moving during the speech. I thought that was the obvious answer, so I was like, wait, what, didn't we already establish that? Professor Means moved the body to an easily seen location during his long pre-recorded speech. The professor also moved something to the stage that wasn't there before, specifically the white statue. The White Lady Justice was also moved. During the mock trial, Professor Means wrapped the Lady Justice in the school banner and sent it zipping down the stage with a cat crash, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He drew attention to the body and made it look like the murder occurred in the art room. But was there anywhere to hide the body on that stage? Doesn't seem likely. No, there had to be someplace. Wait a second. How about something that should have been finished but was only mostly done? Oh my god, he hit the body of the statue! Are you kidding me? Something was used to cover the body up, but it didn't draw undue attention because it looked like it belonged there on stage. In that way, no one would suspect it was a body hidden inside. That's why, because she didn't actually see the statue, she saw them cloaked over them. Of course. What was already on the stage and capable of concealing a body? The Wright statue! The body was hidden inside the Wright statue! Or by Wright statue. Oh, I know! The Mr. Wright statue was never actually finished! The body was wrapped up in... That's why we didn't find any rubble for it! Oh, it all comes together. I thought that was so weird. Cleverly disguising it as the boss's statue. Miss Newman gave up on the Wright statue, yet Professor Means finished it in a single night. Which would be really hard to do. Yes, what an impressive feat that was. Objection! No, his so-called work of art deserves none of our praise. That's because it was only a facade to hide his real work, the murder of Professor Court. Come again? I'm afraid I don't follow? He hid the body by making it look like the statue of Mr. Wright. That's why the hands were bound. He had to be able to point them. With the body wrapped under a piece of cloth, it looked just like a statue. What? I second that. What?
Now this is getting interesting.
Objection!
Objection! Nobody may speak but me. No, this is getting preposterous. How would such a thing even be possible?
Objection! We'll never know until we try. Uh-oh. I think I know where this is going. Okay, Apollo. Time to turn me into a reasonable likeness of Mr. Wright. I'm going to pose like this statue, so? And now I want you to wrap me up like in a cloth so I look like a statue. I hate to ask the obvious, but where am I supposed to get this magical cloth? It's a really law. We'll find something. Use the curtains. I don't care.
I'm afraid that isn't the right color, Mr. Justice.
Well, given how sudden the request was, it's kind of the best I could do, Your Honor.
He's gonna use the banner that has blood on it. Please don't get any blood all over my nice yellow suit and skirt.
You all right? I think that about does it. See, it's perfect. Well, what do you think, man? You look just like a statue of Mr. Wright.
Looks like some random person to me.
Weren't the statues a pair of busts?
Phoenix Wright has that spiky hair on the back of his head.
Forgot the hair. The statue's later than any other person's anyway. You gotta hand it to me for trying. You gotta hand it to me for trying anyway. Wait, that's it. The hands.
Because they were bound, right?
Her arms are raised over her head and...
Oh, sorry, this is the flashback.
Her arms are raised over her head and there are dark bruises around her wrists.
Yeah, the professor was probably tied up with something.
The marks on her wrists indicated she'd been tied up.
Okay, tell me the new case. Wait, you're not into this kind of thing, are you?
What? No, besides it was your idea. Just tell me how to tie your hands already.
Professor Court's wrists are tied together, and I couldn't help but think that's related. How should I arrange myself to match the shape you want, given your hands are tied?
An objection posed behind my head, behind my back. Well, behind my head. You couldn't tie them behind the back the way they were. The way we found them, anyway. Wait, can we look at the newspaper again? I don't know. I want to see how the statues were supposed to look. Ah, we don't have it anymore. I'm already in an objection pose, so... I mean, there was a bit of the frame already had the arm pointing out, so if we wanted to have her hands match his spiky hair, I guess it would be...
behind my head.
Okay, don't the hands behind my head.
See? This makes it possible to fake the spikes on the back of Mr. Wright's head. Sure, but what about the statue's arm?
Well, there was already a frame there.
With both arms behind your head, you can't exactly complete the pose. Yeah, it would be awfully hard to make the objection pose like this. I can't help thinking you've forgotten something, Athena.
The arrow, I guess? It was found beside it, but it doesn't seem like it would be long enough for the whole arm.
Something on the body that you don't have right now. The notebook or the arrow, anyway. What did the victim's body have that I don't? Take that! Oh, right, there was an arrow sticking out of her side. Okay, Apollo, take that and plunge it into my side. What are you, crazy? Fine, then go get some duct tape. Rapido, schnell! All right. I don't need to know other languages to know bossy when I hear it. This is amazing, by the way. Ah, it's a pretty long arrow, I guess. The fatal arrow to the side. Spiky hair created from 2 hands. A masterpiece in the making. Now cover me with that cloth. Remember to make the arrow stand out, okay? Excellent. Oh my god! Incredible! Mommy, the arm's too short. Shh, remember your inter voice, dear. Nobody's buying it. The arrow's nowhere near long enough. What else could you use for the arm?
So don't give up, eh? I must commend you if only for your spirit and determination.
Of course she's not giving up. After all she's put me through, she owes me an explanation, and one that makes sense. Now disappoint me again and the penalty will be doubly painful. Oh god, no! I don't have enough health! Think, Athena, think! Professor Court was murdered when she stopped by the stage to see Professor Means. If it wasn't premeditated, he must have used something close at hand in his little ruse.
Okay, show me those stage shadow photos again.
Like that? Right now? Okay, hold on.
Well, I'm not gonna get out of this first.
Please be in this photo. It just has to be. The arm of Mr. Wright statue is really this right here. It could be the scepter in his hand, but it could also just be the frame of the statue. It's already partially built, but I guess if that was already in there, then she wouldn't fit, is what they're saying. I don't want to die here. I've come so close without dying, but it has to be something in this photo, so none of my evidence is really going to help me here. Take that! Got it! I know what he used for the arm on the statue of Mr. Wright.
This is absurd. There is no such thing in this photo.
Don't play dumb with me, Professor. It's the staff you have right there.
Everyone fails except me. Staff, this is the spear of a great legal warrior.
Whatever. Just hurry up and lend it to me. That'd certainly be long enough. And we're in 3D animation now, so definitely this had to be it. They wouldn't have animated this if I was wrong just then. The length is perfect. Mr. Wright couldn't possibly object to such an awesome arm. Okay, go for it, Apollo. Sure, I'll give your arm a hand. Cloth and binding coming right up.
The wrong arm.
Objection!
That's Phoenix Wright. Look, it's that famous lawyer.
That's definitely him.
I know that pose anywhere.
We did it! Didn't we?
Well, I'm still going to the legendary friend. The man who had biggest out of these dark ages, aka Golden Knight.
Golden light, all I see before me. It's the pink specter of a man.
That's just because Mr. Wright likes his statue. His favorite tickled pink. Get it, pal? His tickled pink.
That joke deserves a pink slip.
Shut up, you can't come up with a joke when you can't see anything.
It seems the gallery is quite impressed with the defense's sharp thinking. And the witness? The resemblance is nothing more than a coincidence.
Objection!
Not so fast there, Buster. Unfortunately for you, I can prove my theory to be more than a mere coincidence. To prove that his spear was thrust into the victim, all you have to do is, first of all, breathe a sigh of relief that it's not the double penalty anymore. Examine the spear prints. See if it's a staff or spear. Test the spear for blood. Well, I mean, it's a spear. Proving that it's a spear wouldn't prove that she got stabbed with it. Just test it for blood. We had assumed the victim's jagged wound came from the arrow being forcibly shoved in. But if the wound was from this spear instead, then we should be able to detect trace amounts of the victim's blood on it. Unless he has more than one, but I hope not.
Your Honor, a brief recess, if you will. By any means possible. What if I get rid of my spear? Wait, what if I burn it? What's wrong with the non-guilty verdict? If I do that, I'll be found innocent. Yes, I'm innocent, I tell you.
Objection! Surely you don't expect us to take lectures from you now. Now I ask you in the gallery. Help me decide the professor's fate.
Bathroom detail? Retake more exam? 30% salary cut. Dismissal. Guilty.
That was certainly unique. Prosecutor Blacko, what has become of our witness, Aristotle Means? It is as Cykes Dono suspected. Blood was detected on his staff. He has admitted to this heinous crime. All of it. He shall join us in the clink tomorrow. His teaching skills can be put to good use there.
I never thought about that. That's hilarious that he's gonna be imprisoned with a bunch of the people he was on trial with. Or, you know, he was prosecuting the cases for. At least for a bit until they're executed, I guess. Great. He'll teach felons that the end justifies the means. So much for rehabilitation. Can I ask what the professor's motive was?
Bribery, gotta be. I could barely make out a word he said on account of his shattered teeth.
One of Blackwell's fellow inmates was once a surgeon. Why not a former dentist, too? Well, he hasn't had access to him since the 5 minutes he collapsed ago. I eventually had him put pen to paper. It turns out Professor Means was the one taking bribes. The victim had suspected him after a report from the class snitch. That led her to question him at length the day of the killing, right there on that stage. The result, the heinous crime that was brought before this court. I don't understand how that could possibly have happened without any of the crew here seeing? But, fine. The fool, like Newman, had come to know the script's contents via the victim's note. It seems he came up with a plan to stab the victim with her own awl in order— Wait, sorry, what? Come to know the script's contents via the victim's note. Right. It seems he came up with a plan to stab the victim with her own awl in order to make the killing look like the one in the script and thus frame the defendant. Gee, if only someone had said that on day one of the trial, we could have been at home by now. But that scrap of paper with Hugh's name had them the same mark as Professor Court's planner.
Yes, about that. Those planners are bestowed upon all students graduating from the top of their class. I had, at some point, had the thought that perhaps it wasn't actually hers. But I'd sort of cast that aside and been convinced that it was what it was about at some point. Interesting.
Really? So then—
Indeed. Once upon a time, Professor Means was also awarded the same notebook. The handwriting is being analyzed now, but like as not, the scrap belonged to him, and he was writing down how much Hugh had been paying him. Hugh's family had been paying him. This, too, was evidence of the bribery scheme that the victim had obtained. So why would he leave it at the scene? Know that Constance Court was clean, and that only Aristotle Means took the bribes. Or maybe she had found it off him at some point. To think a professor would murder a colleague, then try to pin it on a student. If this is the dark age of the law, then we can only hope that a brighter future awaits. The first step is to hand down my verdict for a promising young lady. This court finds the defendant, Juniper Woods, not guilty.
Woo-hoo! You deserve it, pal! But then what the hell happened between now and December to make her all freaked out and stuff? I wonder. There's not like I get to the bottom of that mystery, I suppose. It needs to still take one more case.
I wish you all the best on your road to becoming a courtroom judge. We will need young people like you, if we ever hope to restore the law to its former glory.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll work as hard as I can. Maybe one day I'll be able to work with all of you to make a difference.
Proudly serve Professor Court's memory. Do not let her death be in vain.
You're pretty smug, Blackwell, for someone who has almost let her be declared taking bribery and let her murderer get free. That's the last thing I expect to hear from him today. Likewise.
Court is adjourned.
Well, we got well through it without dying, but I mean, if I had been wrong about that, the scepter, I mean, there wasn't much it could have been. October 26th, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. So I was a little off on some of my guesses around the last bit of it. For the most part, I was pretty on the ball during that case. Of course, we still got one little present left to do, haven't we? October 26th, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Thank you, Athena. I really mean it. It was nothing, really. I could take the biggest tangled mess of a case and unravel it just like that. All right. Just kiss already. I don't know. It looks pretty wound up there at the end. Literally and figuratively. You look pretty hungry for a knuckle sandwich, Buster. I wanted to thank you too, Apollo. Don't mention it. The way you were always there for Athena when she was in a bind. And at the detention center, where your smile gave me hope where there was none. Well, just kiss already. One of you kiss already. Or two of you, I mean. It was like the warm rays of the sun shining down upon peaceful woodlands. I think you're an absolutely amazing person. Thanks, Juniper. That means a lot to me. But I still have lots of work to do, and I can't wait until we see you on the judge's bench. I promise you I'll get there someday. That's why until that day, I'll
Guys, I've got some big news. I mean, this is huge. Oh, am I interrupting something?
No, it's okay. She was just flirting with Apollo, I think. So what's the big news?
The school festival. It was supposed to have been canceled after what happened, but
We just got a call. In memory of Professor Constance Cord, who worked so hard to make it happen. The festival is being extended one extra day until tomorrow. Really? All right! Hell yeah. Oh my god, we're gonna go to the festival! That was fast. Oh, we're gonna get to see Juniper sing the Let Me Wear song? Dope. Or at least the prelude to it. Yeah!
We've got a special treat for all of you. A love letter for Themis Legal Academy. Achtung, baby. It's time for the guitar serenade.
Apollo, don't distract her. Turn your radiant smile away. God damn it. Oh, we didn't get to see the whole thing. That was sweet enough, that there. Yeah! October 27th, Themis Legal Academy, 3rd floor, lecture hall. Wow, that was so much fun. School festivals are amazing. Agree to disagree? I think you and Robin are getting a little carried away. Ah! Your singing voice, Juniper! It can melt my heart! Well, kiss already. Mr. Wright, thank you for that training seminar. Just remember, the objection pose is all about attitude. Oh, and congrats on your mock trial win. Although Robin had you for a while there. I did, didn't I? But I'm just glad we're back to being how we used to be, thanks to Athena. And you know what? I think I'll stick with it and become a crown prosecutor after all. I'm gonna make up for my mock trial loss by winning the real deals in court. Mock trial loss? What loss? Wait, did they reprise the trial and you won? Level-headed lawyer, course genius, and hot-blooded prosecutor, course student will go head-to-head in a mock trial battle for the She-Devil's Black Heart. So, does this mean it's really gonna happen?
Juniper, there's something I've been wanting to say to you. Don't you dare.
I'm right here, man! Huh?
Ooh, is he gonna do what I think he is? Juniper, can we still be friends? You know, best friends, like we've always been.
Huh? Best friends? Weren't you going to profess your love for Juniper if you won the mock trial?
No, I was going to confess that I'm not a genius, and that I'm really 25 years old. But you already dragged it out of me during the trial.
Whoops. Listen, you too, Robin, Miriam. Huh? I'm here too. Me too. Miriam's got this tactical espionage action stuff down to a science. Colonel, the trial ended with success and smiles all around, Colonel. I've been thinking. It's up to us to put an end to the dark age of the law if we can. Let's all work together to usher in a new age where winning only results from the truth. And the end never justifies the means. Well, unless the means are totally chill, you know what I mean? Count me in! I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm also going to be a judge. Best friends forever, huh? No matter what anyone says, nothing beats true friendship. You bet. And what about your BFF, Apollo? Aren't you a bit old to be using that word? But yeah, he's the best friend a guy could have. Which reminds me, we still haven't met this individual. We're supposed to go meet up and gossip about the new girl in the office. Hey, not talking about me behind my back! So what kind of guy is he anyway? No. If I had to describe him in one word, I would say it's something the audience doesn't get to see. And so, after some slight arm twisting, Apollo promised to bring me to meet his friend. Unfortunately, that promise was never meant to be fulfilled. Oh, does his friend get murderized? Oh no. For not long after, their friendship was mercilessly severed by fate. God damn it, we were just having a happy time. And the bonds between us began to fray and unravel as well. Oh, and this is hence why Apollo's all messed up by the time December rolls around. Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. Even now, those words continue to ring in my ears. The discord in our ever-cheerful Apollo's voice made him sound so cold and distant. Why, Apollo? Why? Why would you leave us all behind? Why indeed? Why indeed?
Saving data. Well done, a completed thing. Let's just start the next one, because I want to see. Oh, it's going to start us already. Oh, it does that by default, doesn't it? Right. It was only DLC. Okay, sorry, that didn't happen.
The courtroom bombing incident. A terrible attack launched by the will of a madman.
I wonder if this is going to be like the fourth game, where it all really does connect into sort of one unified story.
That incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. Mr. Wright brought it to a resolution of sorts. He wasn't wearing that at the time, but whatever. Pt.39 was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. I have to speak really slow for the text to keep up, sorry. If only they're that simple. Somehow, I can't help but think... that there's a darker influence at work. One that's lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's why I want to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred.
Right, well, it have to. If you were, it was a bombing during the trials, obviously it was someone who wanted to disrupt it.
After all, I've got more than a few personal stakes in it.
So did the bombing happen? The cosmic turnabout, episode 4. Did the bombing happen? Right, he said his friend was into stargazing, right? Or something like that. Did the bombing happen in the trial of the murder of his friend, who we haven't met yet? What the hell is going to happen here? A space station? I didn't quite read, but something Space Center.
1 hour remaining until launch. Please begin your final equipment check.
Accent sounds American. I guess we're in America
Check
here.
complete. Everything's A-okay. We're ready here whenever you are.
Uh-oh.
Come in at 2. Come in. Do you copy?
Oh dear. Botched launch, was it? This is pretty crazy. Sorry, let me get my mouse on the screen. Those two both died? Whoever they were? Oh dear. Don't make an Among Us joke. Don't make an Among Us joke. Don't make an Among Us joke. What if I had a knife in them? Also, just before we go way off the way of the oh my god, we're starting in the court? Why? Way off the track of Themis Legal Academy. They never really explained how he was handcuffed, buggered up. I guess he tried to sneak a... They mentioned at some point that he tried to sneak a peek and got his hand cut up. I guess, is that it? And that's how his injury came about? They never really confirmed that. I guess we were just supposed to guess that. Hey, hang on a minute. My chair's attorney's badge, just putting it on makes me feel ready. That's what Apollo says about his enforce. This has got to be Apollo. My chair's attorney's badge, just putting it on makes me feel ready. Terran's autopsy report. Terran, okay, so like Terra, like Earth. So that's probably his astronomer friend. Cause of death stabbing. The victim was discovered in the third floor boarding lounge in the main building. Dear me. And as for the cast, Athena Cykes, the latest lawyer to join our agency. She lived in Europe for a time where she studied psychology. The head of our office. He was retired once, but made his return to the legal world a few months ago. Trucy, Wright, an aspiring magician who Mr. Wright adopted when duty called. And Clay Terran, the victim in this case. He was a Hat 2 crew member and a close friend of mine. I see. God, are we going to just be starting out in a trial section already? Well... It surely is a shame, then, that I'll have to wait till next time on Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, because we are long since over time. Oh, cool. Am I going to be playing with the bandage on and all and everything? This is going to be so badass. Oh, man, this is going to be really cool, isn't it? I can't wait to get into it. Next time, though. So, that case came to a close. It was weird, actually. They didn't make us... Normally, they have you go present some kind of piece of evidence to someone at the end. Like, someone's like, I don't really know what this meant at the end. And then you go, like, I do. It was this. And then you get a bit extra dialogue. It didn't happen then. Case kind of came to a bit of an abrupt halt, actually. But still, definitely one of my favorites in this game so far. And maybe of the whole series. I like that whole case a lot. And I'll probably be able to talk more about it at the very end of the game, when I'm sort of comparing and contrasting all the cases. But nevertheless, we were on it for some time, so glad to be on from it. We didn't die at all during that one, so let's hope we can keep this win streak up. Even though so far Athena has been our lucky charm. Let's hope
having worked with her for a bit, some of her luck has rubbed off on Apollo, and he'll be able to handle this cosmic turnabout case, by which I mean I hope I don't screw it up. Thank you so very much for coming around. Next video coming to the channel is going to be some Fire Mythic Houses Verdant Wind Assassins. So, look on out for that, and that's all for now. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I will see you around. Admiral's going to be out of here now. Peace! Please, camera, keep the sensible way. No, that's the bad way to be, camera. Oh, okay, it's fine. Oh, I'm facing the wrong way because the camera... Oh, it's fine. Oh, man, that was definitely the most stressful of this world so far. But particularly that end bit. I wish that bit happened first. So I could have gotten out of the way. Nevertheless, quite a fun mix.